FIA probes Ferrari and Red Bull's rotating wings after Verstappen crashes. The FIA has stepped in after Max Verstappen suffered two dramatic rear-wing-related incidents, with Red Bull and Ferrari now asked to provide further details on one of the most talked-about aerodynamic concepts of the 2026 Formula One season. The FIA has requested additional information from Red Bull and Ferrari over their rotating rear-wing designs following Max Verstappen's recent crashes at Spielberg and Silverstone. The concept, widely nicknamed the Macarena wing, has become one of the most intriguing technical developments of the season, with both Ferrari and Red Bull using rotating rear-wing systems as part of Formula One's active aerodynamics era. While Ferrari has so far run its version without major problems, Red Bull has encountered two separate failures on Verstappen's car, prompting both an internal investigation at Milton Keynes and fresh interest from the governing body. Red Bull under scrutiny after Verstappen incidents. Red Bull had already launched its own review after Verstappen's Silverstone crash, with team principal Laurent Mekies insisting the team would examine every possible cause. "We are going to review the full area to make sure we leave zero chance for that to happen again," Mekies said. "We will do whatever is necessary to be on the safe side." The Dutchman's earlier issue in Austria and his later crash at Silverstone are understood to have been caused by different problems, but both incidents involve the rear wing area. Verstappen himself described the situation as super dangerous, increasing pressure on Red Bull to find a permanent solution before the next race weekend. Why Ferrari has also been contacted. Ferrari was the first team to reveal a rotating rear wing during pre-season testing in Bahrain. Although the Scuderia initially planned to introduce it earlier in the campaign, the design made its race debut at the Miami Grand Prix. Red Bull also introduced its own version in Miami, though technical director Pierre Wache has maintained that the concept was not copied from Ferrari. Red Bull had reportedly been developing its design since late 2025, with its wing rotating in the opposite direction to Ferrari's solution. The Red Bull version is believed to be more aggressive in the size of the opening it creates, allowing for greater drag reduction on the straights. However, the FIA's request is not limited to Red Bull alone. Ferrari has also been asked for clarification because it is the only other team to have raced with the concept so far this season. FIA checking safety compliance. At this stage, the FIA's intervention is understood to be focused on safety compliance, rather than an attempt to ban the concept immediately. The governing body wants to ensure that both teams fully comply with the relevant safety requirements while the system is in operation. One key regulation concerns the time taken for the rear wing flap to move between its two fixed positions. Under the technical rules, any adjustment must be controlled by the FIA standard ECU and must not exceed 400 milliseconds from the command being issued to the sensor, confirming that the requested position has been reached. The regulation states, any adjustment of RW flap may only be controlled by the FIA standard ECU and must have a maximum transition time between the two fixed positions that does not exceed 400 milliseconds. However, the FIA is also expected to consider whether simply meeting that timing requirement is enough, particularly if aerodynamic airflow does not immediately reattach once the wing returns to its required position. Could the concept be banned? A ban is not currently believed to be the immediate objective of the FIA's inquiry. For now, the governing body is seeking information from Ferrari and Red Bull to determine whether the current rules and checks are sufficient. If both teams are found to have complied with every existing requirement, but similar incidents remain possible, the FIA may then consider whether additional checks or stricter regulations are needed. In the most extreme scenario, the rotating rear wing concept could be banned later in the season or restricted ahead of 2027. However, that outcome is not currently considered imminent. McLaren not included in current FIA request. McLaren has also developed a rotating rear wing, having brought its own version to Austria. However, the Woking-based team did not run the design in practice or race conditions, with Andrea Stella's squad deciding it was not yet ready for track use. The team also avoided introducing the wing during the Silverstone sprint weekend because of the limited practice format. McLaren has hinted that the concept could make its on-track debut at Spa-Francorchamps. but the FIA's current request is understood to apply only to Ferrari and Red Bull. Red Bull faces crucial decision before Spa. Red Bull must now decide whether to continue using its rotating rear wing at Spa, one of the most power-sensitive circuits on the calendar. The potential straight-line benefit is clear, but after 2 failures on Verstappen's car, the risk has become impossible to ignore. With Verstappen already frustrated by Red Bull's reliability problems this season, another rear wing issue would represent a major blow for both driver and team. For now, the FIA's investigation remains limited to gathering information, but the outcome could have significant consequences for one of the most innovative and controversial aerodynamic concepts in modern Formula One.